Okay, so guess who got a new haircut? Me.
It's loud.
So, me and Joe are on our way. We're in York at the minute. And we're on our way to get the coach for Hallowscream. I don't know how good the audio is going to be with all that, but we'll see. So yeah, we was up here for a wedding anyway, so we thought what kind of Halloween events will be on, and we saw this one. Spooky light in there, Joe. So excited for the maze.
Yeah, I'm already spooked out.
So how much was it again?
£28
Yeah.
each, and we got the bus ticket, which was £34 each. So like £6 extra for a return bus. And our hotel is like a 5-minute walk from the bus stop, so it actually worked out better.
We only got them because they were sold out, didn't we?
Yeah, we were going to get the normal ticket and drive, but they were sold out when we went to buy it. But the bus tickets are available, so it worked out all right.
And they're playing spooky music.
Spooky music.
They're actually playing the film Scream as we go there, which is pretty cool.
First thing you hear is a chainsaw. Like that. He literally touched my leg with it.
These are the mazes we've got. We've got 2073, got Corny's Corn Evil, got the Fleshpot, we've got the Singularity, yeah, and the best name for a maze ever heard, Barnageddon 3D.
Welcome to Hallowscream. You all excited? Yeah! You all excited?
Many people believe that this farm is still haunted by those that lost their lives that fateful night. Tonight, you will find yourself lost in a maze of terrors, a new horror at every turn, as the restless souls that died that night come back from the dead.
so cool. We finally got a beer.
Nice beer, look at me, got that.
It is a nice beer. A well-needed beer after the scares just trying to get in it.
I was at White Castle the other day and we really wanted dirty fries, but they didn't have them. And now what we got, Joe?
We got dirty fries.
It's absolutely bucketing it down, but we're going to do our review of the last 3 mazes we've done.
Yeah, we've done 3 so far.
But so far, the event.
Oh, it's so cool here. I want to stay longer. In fact, we're missing our 10 o'clock bus because we've only done 3 mazes and we just want to keep staying here.
Yeah, I just want to stay and drink and eat, and like just the kind of atmosphere is just so cool, isn't it?
So cool because they got this stage show on and they're playing the best like rock covers of certain songs, and it's amazing in there.
Yeah. So the first maze we did was 2073, right?
Yeah, the future time travel one.
Yeah. So what did you think of that?
It was good. The theming in there was amazing. It was really good. We both thought they needed more actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The second half of the maze had loads of actors. The first half of the maze, through the actual corn, you go for an actual corn maze.
Which was really cool because we'd never been through a cornfield before.
So this place is based at York Maze, which is basically a corn maze? Yeah, corn maze. But yeah, so you go through there and that's really cool. But yeah, there's not really much happening. But the theming in there, Jesus.
It's so good because then
so
once
cool.
you go through the corn maze, you go through and they've got this massive fire truck in there and they've got all these cars stacked on each other, and then it proper feels like Armageddon. Then you go through that quarantine part.
Yeah, they had an actual fire truck in there. Oh.
Heron.
They had an actual fire truck in there.
With the flashing sirens going. It was
The
so
flashing,
good.
yeah. So it was amazing. But we was at pretty much at the back, weren't we? So not much. Everything kind of happened before that. Then, so second one we did.
Second one we did was the Corny's clown
Yeah.
one. I can't remember what it's called, but
Corny's-
yeah,
oh,
it was,
here we go
It was
again.
like the fun house
I don't know our
clown one.
mazes. We can never remember.
There's all these
Corny's
crazy
Fun
names.
House or something like that.
But the fun house side of it was so cool. There was this bit, like like in Willy Wonka, where you walk up and it gets smaller and you have to crouch through. That
Yeah.
was awesome. Then the spinny tunnel bit was so disorientating. It felt like it was moving.
Honestly, that trommel was like the most trippiest trommel I've ever done in my life.
It was crazy.
It was. I honestly felt like I was going to fall over.
But then the actors in there were so good as well, because we're not
Yeah.
particularly scared of clowns, and I thought that one wouldn't really get me. But the jump scares in it was so good. Yeah.
With that one, we actually asked to be first. So if you ask to be first, they'll normally let you do it. So we asked to be first in that one, but we actually caught up with the group in front of us.
I think they were going a bit slow, but.
But I also think it's to do with like dispatch times. I timed it, and it was like 2 minutes between each dispatch. So I think if you just left it a couple more minutes, you would have been okay. So we did catch up with the other lot. But still, it doesn't take away from how great that maze was. It was just themed so well. The forced perspective, like you say, with that, like it was cool.
So disorientating.
And there was like what was it? What was it even called? Like inflatable.
Oh, that bit where you walk through.
Yeah,
it,
you
so
walk
have to,
through
like,
it and you have to
wade
go
your way
through
through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you've been in Project 42 at Alton Towers, it's
Similar to that.
Similar to that,
Yeah.
really, wasn't it?
But
That was really
the
cool.
fact it was all fun house themed, but it was
Yeah.
super creepy. It was perfect.
It was really cool. And then the last one we just did.
The last one we just did was Barnageddon 3D, and again
Yeah.
we went first on that. I actually went at the front. Which
Oh,
I was
yes,
being-
you're
I was
all
super
brave on that one.
And you have these 3D glasses, just like the cardboard ones that you put on. But the painting on the walls that they've got, even where it's like speckles and stuff, it really does trip you out. Like it's so
Yeah.
disorientating. Thin corridors, making all these turns and moves, and actors in there. They had like the spark things on the cages.
Yeah,
That one
spark
really
wall.
got me.
Yeah, that was cool. But they had like onesies and they were painted in the style of the walls, so you couldn't actually see them. They were this guys because you had 3D glasses on. It made everything look really disorientating.
And even their faces had the 3D paint on them as well. So all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're just there.
And it's one of the best mazes I've ever done in my life. I think it was proper.
Oh, and you ever done in your life?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, good.
It wasn't like the scariest one, but it was just.
Up there.
It was original. Do you know what I mean?
Totally
It was
original.
original. So we've got 2 more left to do, which is the Fleshpot and
Singularity.
So.
And actually, the dude who was letting us into the Barnageddon one, he said Singularity. He went there through that on his own last night, and he said it was absolutely terrifying. He was super hyped when he came out. So we're going to save that one till last now, I think, after his recommendation.
Yes, I think so. But the Fleshpot, that's what's going to freak me out the most, because I hate anything to do with like Leatherface, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, anything like skin snatchery or butchery, or that really gets to me. So yeah, we'll do the review afterwards. You know when you've had a good event when you're absolutely soaked, but you don't care. Okay, so we're very wet and cold, but we're back in the hotel room now, and we had an amazing event.
Yeah, it was so good. And it tells you that it's a good event if you weren't even bothered that you were standing at the bus stop in the rain at 11:30 at night. It was fun.
Yeah. So I think obviously we told you about the first 3 mazes we did, and then we did the last 2 mazes. So the first one, Singularity.
Yeah, that was really good. It's creepy as hell. It was kind of like science experiments gone wrong. So you walk in and this guy stops you and he tells you that you are his subjects and that, you know, thank you for donating your bodies to science. And you go through and it's got all these like body scans and stuff. And as you go through, you can tell like the actors that are in there, they're all kind of like failed experiments, aren't they?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's like you're going into a failed experiment. It's kind of like robot human hybrids. That's what they're trying to create.
Cyborgs, yeah.
And these are the failed experiments.
Oh, so there's that one bit where you go around and it's just kind of like these glass cage kind of things. And you look down, there's like a curled up body. Like it was a dummy, but it was in like the fetal position.
It's so realistic, weren't it?
Proper realistic, really freaky. And there's strobe lights everywhere. And it's kind of like in sections as well. So you go through that bit first, and then the next bit you go in, it's just got like all these black bars everywhere. And it's so disorientating that you're walking through and you're trying to feel where you go in. And you go up some steps. And there's the bit with the girl who like swung the ball over her head.
That was so good. Like honestly, you went into this one room, and it was like where they keep all the subjects, and it's like just bars all the way on like the left hand side, and then there was like people in there like kind of just like jumping and things like that. But then you look up, and then there's like a kind of a mezzanine. And there's a woman up there, and she just chucks a ball at you, and you think it's going to smash in your face.
Like swings right over your head, so you're ducking behind it, and there's a guy right next to you as well, screaming at you.
Yeah, and a lot of that is to do with like strobes as well. There's a lot of strobes.
Yeah, the strobes mess with your head.
But the last room, weren't it?
Yeah, in the end scene, they filled it so much with fog and smoke that you could hardly see where you're going, but it switched from like bright lights to complete darkness. So you could and it felt like it was a big room because we were wandering around, couldn't feel any walls or anything. Like you were at the front, so we were following you.
Yeah.
Couldn't feel anything. Like where do we even go? It just felt like we were walking around this, like, must have been a big room. I don't know. But at this one point, like huge, I ended up feeling something. And I touched it. I was like, oh, what's this? And it was another. Like we caught up with the group in front of us, and it was this girl. And as soon as I touched her, I was like, who's this? Like we both just screamed so loud. It's so funny. And then we managed to find our way out after that.
Yeah, and then we got out, and then that was it really. But it was so well. All the mazes done tonight are so well themed. Like so much effort has gone into them. It's just incredible. Like I don't think I was really prepared for just how detailed these mazes were going to be.
Super impressive. The entire thing's super impressive.
Yeah.
Then we were going to go on the waltzers.
Oh yeah.
But we realised like the scare maze is closed in 15 minutes. We were waiting for the waltzers run. So we said to the guy, we're like, oh, hang on, we've got one more to do. He was like, go do that first and come back. So we did that. And we went over and did the Fleshpot as the last one. But because all the mazes were closing in 15 minutes. We ended up going in, just the two of us. So like no one else joined the queue. She was like, well, go on then, you may as well go in. And that made it so much scarier, didn't it?
Yeah, just us two. So the thing is with me is we've been on a lot of scare mazes this season. So it gets to a point, I think everyone goes through it if you do a lot of scare mazes, where you get a bit like desensitised to it, don't you? But for me, I just have a fear of anything to do with like skins, like butchery, slaughterhouse stuff. I think it's because I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, when I was like 10 years old. It just stuck with me, man. So them type of mazes really get me. It's like Skin Snatchers, Altonville Mines, Alton Towers.
Yeah, that was the worst one for you.
That always gets me. It always gets me. I just hate that sort of stuff. But for me, that was hands down the scariest maze of the night for me.
This Fleshpot one, so you go in and this guy stops you and he's got the pies in front of him and stuff, but he's really in the shadows and up above like this stall, and he kind of prepares you for like, yeah, you're gonna go through, and then the first actor you see, they've got this pig snout on them and they're yelling at you like, run piggy piggy, as you go through, and it's really tight corridors all the way around, loads of like cages with actors. They've got the bigger like the fake pig bodies hanging around and stuff, like, and the fact that it's like just twisty and turny, and it was all those flaps that you have to go through and feel for. Really dark, really scary.
The smells in there made it as well. It was, like, honestly, I think anyone who does scare mazes, you know how much smells add to a maze, and that one was like no exception. It was just so good. It was so well done. But something, I had the biggest jump, didn't I?
Oh god, yeah. So there's a bit where you go through and it's kind of like those inflatable walls basically, so they're pushed together and you have to squeeze your way through. But we're about to go through that. I was in front, Sean was behind me, and we had one of those air compressors that go off.
Yeah, but not, no,
so
it
loud.
must have been about 5 air compressors going off at once, because it was like, I've had air compressors go off before, but this was something else. It was like...
But I just turned around, looked at your face, and I've never seen you so scared
Honestly,
in my life.
I was like,
just pushed me through this. I was like, I don't even know where we're going.
I knew there was no one there as well. It was illogical, but it was just, oh man, that was just made me jump so.
And that was quite near the start as well. That was probably like only 2 or 3 minutes in.
Oh.
I think all the scare mazes tonight have been a good length, to be honest. They've all been like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, without doubt, they've been really. They felt long.
None of them too short, but they felt just long enough. They weren't even too long. Like sometimes you're in it and you just want to get out, but they weren't too long, weren't too short. I think 20 minutes ish is a good sort of time. Yeah, spot on. Couldn't fault tonight, to be honest. I think the whole event was amazing. The theme and the atmosphere, the fact like all the bar area with the food and the stage and all the actors doing crazy stuff around there. Even in the queue, some of the queues you just stood there, we were having a drink in a queue, ended up dancing to the song, and then one of the actors dressed as a clown just ended up singing and dancing with us.
Constantly going around, aren't they? And like interacting with you and things, and it just makes it really. The queues were not long at all as well.
They might look long, but they did go quickly.
They look like long when you're going to get into them, but I don't think we waited more than 20 minutes to get in one. No, most of them like shorter than that. But like we went tonight and we saw. I looked on the website last night, and all the dates are sold out. They have sold out to capacity, but so they obviously don't overfill it, which is really good. They know their capacity, and even when we was like in the kind of bar and eating area, it was it looked quite full, but you went in there and there's loads of space as well. Yeah,
there was always a table to rest your drink on if you needed to, and. Yeah, even trying to see the entertainment, you could always get to the front and the sides and stuff and look over. Yeah. Awesome.
It was just so well done. Like, so much passion obviously goes into these events. I can't wait to go next year, to be honest.
100% coming back up next year. We'll come up to York just for this
to do
event.
that, man. It was so good.
Because it was completely by chance that we ended up coming tonight, because we were up here for a wedding that we're going to tomorrow. Yeah. We were staying tonight anyway. We found out this was on and thought, you know what, we may as well. We're only going to be in the hotel all night anyway. And 100% so glad that we saw that.
Yeah. They had merch as well. They had like a lot of good merchandise. Like we got these, because we got these kind of like pints, which are pretty cool.
Yeah, so we get to keep them now. They were £2 deposit. You could trade them back in if you wanted to, but may as well keep them. Little souvenir.
It was cool, wasn't it? Yeah, like it was really good. They had a whole merch shop as well.
Yeah, it was like a shipping container in the middle, but they've turned it into like a pop-up shop. They had t-shirts, hats, like caps, beanies. They had pants as well, which were quite cool. Loads of magnets.
Yeah.
And just Halloweeny stuff as well, which is cool.
Halloweeny stuff, yeah, definitely. It was just so well done. In terms of like I think we said earlier, like we got the coach tickets just because we couldn't get the normal tickets because that tonight had sold out. But it's actually the best decision we made, weren't it?
The bus is so worth it.
It goes from York train station. It takes about 15 minutes. And there's one at 6. We went about, what was it?
6:45.
6:45. And we got there just before 7 o'clock, really. Well, just
about 7.
Yeah, it was about 7, so it was about 15 minutes or so. And then we got the last bus back, didn't we? About 11:30. Yeah, and we got the coach back, and there was hardly anyone on it, was there really? But I think most people drove. But it was good for us because it means, like I say, our hotel was only up the road, and then it took us 5-10 minutes.
So we didn't have to drive. It meant we could have a few drinks, not worry about getting back and finding our way. It was so easy.
The thing I loved about it as well was that if you ask them, can I go at the front, they will let you wait, and you can go at the front because, you know, if you do a lot of scare mazes, like I say, you get a little bit desensitised to it.
That's what we've realised for us, going at the front makes it. If you end up halfway down or near the back of a queue, it's just not as good.
I'll go through it like, oh yeah, okay, great. But then like when when I go to the front, I'm like,
it's a different level.
It's a different level. I just get really scared again. I'm like a child.
Yeah,
like,
that's what you want. That's what you pay
yeah,
for. You come here because you want to be scared and you want to, yeah.
So something that I loved about the event as well was, even though there's 5 separate scare mazes, they all linked somehow. So we've got to talk about the very first scene when we walked in there, in the barn.
Yeah.
That was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the pre-show thing.
Yeah, so you queue up to get in, and then you all get led into a barn, and then you probably saw early on in the footage, there's like, what's it called?
Projection mapped head.
Yeah, but what's it called?
A busk.
A busk, that's it.
No, is that right? A bust.
A bust. A busk.
Busk.
A bust. There's a bust, and there's like projection mapping on it, and it kind of introduces like the whole story of like the maze, the event you're going to go into basically, and it gives you this whole backstory about the farm that you're on and how there was a circus that burnt down because the farmer set a light to it and burnt all the kind of carnies inside it. And every Halloween they come alive, and that's where we're about to go into, and it really set the atmosphere, didn't it? And then they let you through. And then they're all just jumping out with like chainsaws and stuff. It's crazy. So what was, in terms of the 5 mazes we did, which one was the best for you?
I think that's really hard. I think Barnageddon stands out.
Yeah, I love that one, yeah. That was the one with 3D glasses.
Definitely stands out. But also the clown one, the Funhouse one, was amazing.
Yeah.
I love just like how the scenes all came together and the fact it was a funhouse inside. And it was scary.
Yeah.
The Fleshpot one, I don't know. It's
all
really hard.
All of them were good. Like even I thought the least scariest was 2073.
Yeah.
Which was Donald Trump.
It was post-Trump era.
It was quite, yeah. You know, abandoned cars. There was a fire engine. There was an ambulance with ambulance drivers.
That big combine harvester.
God, there was just so much, weren't there? Like the amount of like thought that went into it was cool. So even though it was the least scariest, it was just so like the way they lit it
on the production side of things, like the level of production, that one was awesome.
Yeah. Just
not as many actors in that, and we were halfway down the group, and it just wasn't as scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Scare factor. Which one's your top one?
For me, Fleshpot. But that's just because that's like one of my fears. Like, you know how some people hate clowns and stuff.
And because we went in that by ourselves, that really made it scary.
Just me and you, like, made it like extra scary. But I think even if I'd gone into a group, that would have probably been the scariest one, just because I just hate that sort of. I hate anything like pig faces and things like that.
It's just gross.
It just gets to me, man. There must be one.
I think probably Barnageddon.
Barnageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary.
That
you
was
went
scary.
first. As well,
I was at the very front of the line for that one, so I got a lot of the scares, and it's just not knowing what's around the corner and like the tension side of things. Definitely that one.
Yeah, Barnageddon. Like I think, like we said, it was just so trippy. It just, you couldn't really see. It was like you could see a lot. It was well lit, but because like all the walls were kind of like painted in like neon and things like that. It was just
kind of didn't look real, did it?
It didn't look real, man. And then like you'd see like something that was like a dummy that was like painted up, and it just looked real. And then you'd see an actor and you'd be like, are they real? It just really messed with your vision. It was just so bizarre.
So yeah, overall, I would 100% recommend this event. I would give it like 11 out of 10. I thought it was awesome.
11 out of 10?
Yeah, and I would definitely come back next year.
Okay, where do you go from there then? You might as well just give it up.
Yeah, that's it. I don't
No
need to
more
go-
scare mazes.
Don't need to go to any more events. I am done.
I give it 2 thumbs up.
I give it 11 thumbs up.
I give it 1.5. So thank you for joining us on this little vlog for York Hallowscream. Honestly, by the time it comes out, obviously the event's going to be over. But if you're watching this in 2020 and even in the future, maybe even 2073, definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth it. 100%. Love it.